I'd like to give a big shout out to the HOODOO Gurus, who have given us permission to use part of their song That's My Team as our new podcast episode intro for all of their music. And whenever they are going live or performing live, head to their Facebook and their Instagram. The links will be in the description below. Be sure to give them a like and a follow as well on Facebook and Instagram. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Final Tackle podcast, and we've got another AFLW guest, and this time it is the damaging fast winger of the AFL Women's Richmond Tigers team, Hannah Burchell. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So I guess the first question is, did you always grow up playing AFL like Auskick and whatnot, or did you follow other sports and play other sports, and then it was like later on when you started AFL?
No, so I grew up always playing Aussie rules. So I started Auskick when I was, I think you can do it when you're, 7 or 8 or
something like
around
that
age. So I always did that, and I was the only girl there, so I think a lot's changed since then. I think it's pretty equal across the board now.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I was definitely in the minority, but went through the Auskick pathway, and then was fortunate enough to be able to do under 10s with Ocean Grove, Colindina sort of area of Ocean Grove, and I was able to do that for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was great until I couldn't do it anymore to go up into the under 14s. So had to sort of stop there.
Did you take up another sport after that?
Not really. I was at high school at that point. 13, 14, I was at high school. And then there were heaps of sports offered through school. So I sort of just did those. They had a girls' footy competition, but that was only sort of a day away from school, so it wasn't
like a gala day sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So no, nothing officially organised. Maybe like a bit of basketball on a Thursday night or something, but nothing serious. But yeah, then there was a competition in Geelong that started up, a youth girls comp, so I joined that and did that for a few years, and then Geelong sort of had a talent ID day. This
like a scouting day sort of thing?
Yeah. So I think I was probably 20 or so, or 21, something like that. And I went along to that just to see how it'd go. And they picked me up for the VFLW, and then that was sort of it from there. I haven't stopped since then.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's awesome, because anyone who's listening to this episode, they a lot of the AFL women's, like you, played Auskick, Aussie rules as kids, and then there was no real sort of pathways such as yourself when you guys turned 10 to 12-ish. They then turned to like netball and basketball. But no, it's good to hear that you really sort of, for lack of a better term, stuck through it, and then when you couldn't, you did it when you could at school. And honestly, that's wonderful. What are your thoughts on the potential of the AFL being jeopardised now with the new spike in COVID cases in Victoria?
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, the AFL, the men's competition is significantly in jeopardy. I'm sort of probably feeling a little bit too confident in the AFLW being able to go ahead, because that feels like it's so far away, but this thing has stuck around for so long, so you just can't know when it's gonna all settle down. So it's definitely scary, and I think not just at the moment, but I think we'll see the effects of it for years to come, obviously, in resources within AFL and AFLW. It'll have a bit of a cascading impact across the board, and unfortunately that'll flow down to the grassroots level, which will be sad. But I think the AFL have a really good stance on women's footy and also junior women's footy.
Oh, for sure, yes. It's come a long way.
Yeah. So I think they'll they certainly won't just let it go.
Yeah, they won't pull the plug. Definitely they won't.
No, but I think we'll see some resources decline across the board, men's and women's. So
for sure. Yeah, no, that's fair. Sorry for that cough. Now, speaking of the AFLW, as we all know, in the AFL world, last week well, actually more or less like 5 or so days ago, the AFL announced their backing behind the AFLW for 2021. What was that like for you? Was it a relief? Was it a, yes, we get to do another year sort of thing? What was that feeling for you when you found that out?
Yeah, probably relief, I'd say. That would be the word. Yeah, I guess you don't always know where the AFLW sits, on a good year. So it doesn't, it's not the money maker for the AFL. We all know that. So
It
yeah,
will
it
be
was a
one. It
relief.
will be in the next decade, I reckon. It will
Yeah,
definitely be there.
definitely. Yeah, for sure. It's so early still. So yeah, relief would definitely be the way I'd describe it because yeah, you're sort of in limbo and you're doing your running programs and you're whatever you've been given to do at home, and you're thinking, well, there seems like there's no end in sight with this virus, and
Yep.
so yeah, the relief is a word and something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because as you were saying, you would have been training hard at home, in the gym when they reopened and whatnot, and you're just thinking. Honestly, it would have at one point. I'm not sure if it was for you, but at some players would have definitely, even the men's, but when there was still no end in sight, they would have been like, what am I even doing this for if we don't even know if it's going to go ahead? But that's really good that they did announce that it will go ahead for next year. So anyone who's listening and they don't know whether or not it has or they haven't read the news, it definitely 2021 AFL Women's will be played. Now, talking about your debut, you started up, as you said, in Geelong for the VFLW and then managed to play a game for the Geelong team. What was it like running out onto the field as a fully fledged AFLW, AFL player getting your debut?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, to be honest. It felt like all these years of, being the only girl at Auskick and then the only girl in under 10s and then having to stop playing and still it was just the sport I grew up loving and obsessed over. It felt like everything just happened for a reason, and it was very surreal. I couldn't believe I was in an AFL jumper with the AFL logo on it
and a number and all that.
Yeah, and a game for premiership points. So I was probably a little bit overawed by it. I was probably unhealthily nervous, but no, it was unbelievable, and I had my mum and dad and my partner Tom watching up in Canberra, so it was extremely special and very memorable.
Honestly, that's so awesome. And speaking of Geelong, obviously, and now you're at Richmond, what team did you follow growing up?
I actually followed Richmond.
Oh, wow.
I'm a mad Richmond nuffy. My partner calls me a nuffy, so
yep.
It really has aligned, and I really am living out
the dream.
My dream,
living the dream, as they say.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. And obviously, when you got the call up to go to Richmond, with the expansion and whatnot, such as you just said, you followed Richmond. What was the thoughts going through your head when you found out that Richmond wanted you, sort of thing?
Yeah, it was. It sort of happened. It wasn't really like in one moment. It happened. I met with them, and they invited me along to train in their VFLW squad, and just wanted to have a look at me, see how I was. And then I think I got a text message from our list manager one morning and just said, "Can you come to the club and sign the papers?" sort of thing. And it was
you were
very,
like, oh, what?
Yeah, I had to confirm. I was like, "Are you signing me or something?" And she just replied, "Yes." So it was very uneventful, but that was good because, I guess it was pretty low key, but obviously, extremely exciting and probably a relief just to have a spot on the list again, and and being Richmond, what a bonus. So,
oh, for sure.
It was pretty cool. Called Dad straight away, and
is your dad a Richmond fan as well?
Yeah. So he was pretty pumped as well. So
that would have been amazing. And again, obviously, I'm going to talk about your first game, but this is your first game for Richmond this time. Because obviously, totally different club, different atmosphere, and all that, and obviously the team that your family and you support and supported growing up.
Yeah.
What was it like pulling on that yellow and black for the first time and running out and playing the first game in your beloved colours?
Yeah, well, I said it was surreal running out for Geelong, but this was another level and in front of a lot more people. So that was unbelievable. Something something I'll never forget. Really, it was a really exciting day. Being a night game, it was exciting sort of build up towards it, and being the first ever Richmond game, we got a really big turnout.
Oh, it would have been, yeah.
At Icon, so there was a lot of new and exciting things, and when we sort of sat in the rooms listening to Kevin Bartlett and Jack Rewald, it was
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. It was I sort of like pinch yourself is very cliche, but it really was.
But it really was a pinch yourself moment, yeah.
Yeah, it was like I just can't believe I'm here, and then running out to the famous drums that the Richmond club have when they run out. That was something pretty cool. It's quite hard to describe it without rambling on like I am right now. So.
No, that's so good. Ramble away. I love it.
All the feels that night, all the feels.
No, that's honestly really awesome. And obviously you've played now a handful of games for Richmond, and I have to ask, what is word vomit, of the teams that you've played against, which team has been the toughest to go up against physically, and which team has been the toughest to go up against mentally for you?
Oh, good question.
Thank you.
I'd have to say, as a whole, I reckon I'd probably be able to get 2 in 1 here, or 1 into the 2, however you want to say it. But North Melbourne were extremely tough physically and mentally. Probably just the way they dominate in terms of their physicality, but also just the way they're so organised in the way they set up.
Structured sort of thing.
Yeah, which mentally does affect you because you feel like you're just chasing tail all day when teams are so organised and so in sync. And I guess we, being a new team, really struggled to sort of gel on field the way that they the way that they could. But then their physical dominance, the midfielders that they have, and then their key forwards, they really did dominate us that day. That was a tough day. So I'd probably put those 2 in the 1 basket.
No, that's fair enough.
That team in the 1 basket, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair enough. If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's tough. I reckon at the moment, since you can't get on a plane, I'd probably like to be able to fly.
Yeah, no, honestly, I get that.
So I'm in Byron Bay at the moment, and we had to drive it was an 18-hour day. So even though the planes are flying to domestically to New South Wales, we didn't risk it. So
well, I would risk it, and it's also so much more expensive now at the moment because of not many people have been flying. So honestly, it's cheaper to drive all the way up.
Yeah, so if I could have flown, that would have been nice. So I'll say flying.
Yeah, no, that's fair. If you could live in any video game or movie universe, whether that's, Marvel heroes or Harry Potter or whatever, which one would it be and why?
Oh, well, I actually do live in a video game. I live in AFL Evolution at the moment. Yep. So
that's true.
But what would I say? I don't know. That's a tough question. I really loved Frozen, the movie. So if I could maybe live in Arendelle with Anna and Elsa, that would be cool.
Okay, yep. Well then, okay, let's go with that one. Who was your sporting idol growing up? That could be AFL, not AFL, just in general.
I really admired Alise Perry growing up. She obviously dominated in Australian cricket and also for the Matildas soccer team. So I always thought what a champion she was to be able to compete at an elite level in 2 sports. Found that pretty amazing, and I still really admire her and the way she goes about it. And she's really been a pioneer for women's sport. And probably gone under the radar a lot as well. She's very humble, and I really like the way she goes about her sport and her life and how grounded she is. So I'd say Alise Perry.
That's awesome. With your as you just mentioned, Alise Perry is a dual professional women's sporting player, you could say. If there was another sport that you could do, professional level, like AFLW, cricket, etc., which sport would it be and why? And also, would you like to, in general, one day?
I'd love to be a pro surfer. That would be, I used to follow the surfing quite a lot when I was younger.
Yep.
And I really loved Steph Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably love to be a pro surfer, and because you also get to travel to really cool surf spots. So life would be a holiday, I reckon.
It really would be, yeah.
In terms of would I do it? No, I'm probably not at any sort of level to be a pro surfer. So no, that's the short answer.
That's fair enough. Do you have any advice for any, young girls that aspire to, play in the AFLW or in general in professional sports one day?
I guess I probably touched on it earlier, but you probably got the message, and you said it yourself, but just I stuck at it, and I guess that's the great thing for myself. I really loved it, and I loved footy in general. I loved watching footy, but also loved playing it. So again, I know it's so cliche, but I did really love it, and that really helped me.
You definitely gotta love what you do.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's too hard to do it. It's very hard at the elite level to be doing something, and I couldn't imagine how hard it would be if you didn't enjoy it. So I'm lucky enough that I just love it. If you find something that you love, whether it's footy or any other sport or any other sort of industry where women probably aren't as prominent, I think you just have to stick at it, because there's no doubt people behind you that are going to see it and want to be it. Because like everybody says, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So stick with it and enjoy it along the way.
Honestly, that's awesome. That really is awesome. I want to say thank you very much for joining us.
No worries.